Hi guys, as you know, I'm about a few hundred years old, and what that means is that I've been able to cycle through a few different careers in finance and develop a little bit of what I would like to call critical financial literacy, and that's what I'll be talking to you guys about today. Unfortunately, this doesn't mean that I'll help you make any more money, but I might be able to explain what this vocabulary actually means and how people, in fact, end up losing money. So here's a list of words that are used in the media. What does all this really mean? And so I'm going to do a little bit of a case study to hopefully try and explain um, the conceptual underpinnings of what an economy actually is. So that's you. You have a job, and with your job you get wages, and you take your wages and you deposit them in a bank. Fairly normal. The bank turns around and loans money to a businessman who then invests that money into a business. So this here is a factory. The factory produces widgets, for example, and recycles their profits back into the bank. The bank finds another businessman, and the other businessman goes out and hires people, and he might even hire you. And this is sort of the recycling of money within the economy. And Obama called it the multiplier effect, even though that's technically not accurate. But nevertheless, this is why bankers are considered to be upstanding citizens and pillars of the community. I'd like to dig a little bit deeper though and go over this example again with a question. So my question is, if you deposit 100 in a bank, how much of that money do you think the bank actually loans out? Um, you might be surprised, but in my view, the bank actually loans out none of the money. What actually happens is that 100 gets deposited into the bank makes a calculation of loaning out 95, loans out 95 through a customer's account, accepts profits, accepts deposits from corporations that their customers own, and recycles the money, gives it to another businessman, um, who then hires employees, and the employees go ahead and deposit their wages back into the bank. So if you go through this um, process till its logical conclusion, if you add it all up, what it actually means is that for every 100 that you deposit, 2,000 is actually created in loans. Um, so the bank actually just keeps your 100 and loans out 2,000. And that 2,000 is made up in loans. Now, loans are interesting because they carry interest charges, and the interest on a $2,000 loan at 5% is about 100. So for each year that you leave 100 in your bank account, the bank actually makes $100 in profits, and this is using Canada's reserve ratio, which is around 5%. Um, so another way to look at this is actually to think of a pyramid. Pyramid is fairly good, it's stable. But now let's invert the pyramid. So at the bottom are your deposits that support everything. That's your actual wages, your actual wealth. Bank loans are supported by your deposits. Real estate is supported by bank loans because everybody needs a mortgage. Money finds its way into stocks as well as government bonds, corporate bonds, and also into the more esoteric kinds of investments that nobody can really explain. But what happens now if there is a fall in price within one of the sectors? What ends up generally happening, if you know how the 2009 crisis worked, is that there is a contagion effect. So a price drop in one asset class quickly moves to another one until you get to what is called a economic crisis or a financial crisis, or in the case of 2009, a global financial crisis. And so this is a list of all the crises we've had since 1987. Essentially what happens is that a large chunk of the wealth pie is evaporates, and then somebody has to make it whole. So guess who actually ends up making it all? You're right. It's you. So you deposited 100, the bank loans out 2,000. It loses just 20% of its loan portfolio, but that means that $400 needs to be given by taxpayers to the bank, because of course we cannot have banks failing. So now this example, of course, only uses your deposit, and you're just one of many. So imagine the astronomical amounts that we are talking about, and also um, think about where this money ends up. You'll find that this money ends up in the hands of many politicians across the world to loosen regulations, to create a safe environment for corporations to function. And so, what I wanted to do in this assignment was really to um, connect some of this vocabulary, some of these terms to how our politics and how our economy um, really function together through the banking system, and hopefully share with you um, a little bit around my financial literacy. So thank you for your